Clown. Alrighty. Well, I'm waiting for my notification that I've gone live and I am not seeing it yet. So if I am live, hi. If not, I will we'll be live in a second. You're not seeing the go live, are you?
No.
All right, let's try this again. Unexpected error has occurred. Isn't that interesting?
Absolutely interesting.
I love it when this happens because it means I know something is going to be good. I know that Facebook is about to. There we go.
There we go.
Well, hello, folks. It's Nikki Cruz, the Joy Junkie here. And if you're wondering why we're giggling, it's because we just got 3 messages that an unexpected error occurs. Isn't that just like life? Unexpected errors come up every day. And I am so excited to introduce somebody who is a fairly new friend, but we connected so powerfully the first time we met. And the minute we met and started talking, I knew this had to be one of the empowering speakers at our summit.
Oh,
What
thank
summit?
you.
Well, if you don't know about the summit, you haven't been looking at my timeline.
Mhm.
So I'll tell you about it. On the 30th of March, we are going to be having an amazing summit. It's not just an event, it's going to be an experience, a transformational experience, because each of the speakers that is coming forward is going to be coming forward with their story and with tools to help equip you for what? So that you can step into your powerful purpose. And it's spring, so we don't just want to step into it, we want to jump into it. And that's why it's called the Jump Summit, joyfully unleashing a more powerful purpose. But there's another reason why we're doing this at this time. It's the 3rd anniversary of me being healed out of my wheelchair and walking. And it was just after that happened that I managed to continue. And I say continue for a reason, continue exploring what my purpose was. It started before I was out of my wheelchair, because God started working within me and showing me that I wasn't defined by my circumstances. They didn't get to limit me. So I want all of you to be able to come and see that there is so much more in you than you ever realized. Whether you are already walking in your purpose or whether you're sitting wondering what your purpose is. And one of the reasons why I connected so fantastically with my friend here, Judith Diaz, also known as Gigi, is because she helps women set up boundaries, appropriate boundaries. We so often think that boundaries are not good, that boundaries keep other people away. Well, sometimes they do. But when boundaries are set in love, they protect you, but they also help you build yourself up. So let me not be the one talking about boundaries. Judith, let's start off by telling us about yourself. Tell us about Gigi.
Oh, Gigi. Gigi is, I always say it's my nickname. I'm from Say It Out Loud, Gigi. And I build a company around the word Gigi because I wanted to build a name that empowered me every day to let people know and remind myself how important my voice is. And once again, like you were saying, boundaries, I had to learn that at a in my probably early 30s, what boundaries look like and how they help me grow and bloom into the person I am today, helping and empowering other people on how to set healthy boundaries and knowing that the importance at the end of the day, it's about yourself. It's about protecting yourself. And that's what self-love looks like. Boundaries is not to protect anyone but yourself and your emotions and where you at in life. And Gigi is a certified life purpose coach. I'm a teen advocate. I'm an artist. I'm a podcast host. I'm everything I need to be at the moment. I always say that, whether it's a deliverer, whether it's a vessel to be used, I am whatever needs to happen in that moment to empower, to uplift, and to help people just be the best version of themselves, because we're all right, kids of God, right? So we're kids of a king, of someone so powerful. So that means that we are that within ourselves. So it's just helping them bloom to their best versions. So that's who Gigi is.
And I have seen in a lady I know that you work with just how she is stepping into blooming. So I celebrate you for that. I celebrate you for finding out, firstly, who you were, finding your identity in God, and then stepping into it and using it to empower other women. And you have a book that you've written. I know you're working on a number of other things. Tell us, what do you want to know? What do you want others to know about you in the moment? What are you doing to continue empowering yourself to elevate how you can empower others? And
Can,
your events and things,
yes.
all part of it.
Well, that's a very good question. And the answer is, I keep finding my way back to Gigi. And that's what the book is about. It's titled that, Finding My Way Back to Gigi. And it talks about a young lady that no matter what trauma she went through, no matter what experience, whether it was physical, sexual, mental, anything, she found her way back. She learned from her mistakes. She allowed herself to heal, because that's very important when it comes to growth and finding yourself. And it's not about being perfect, it's not about knowing it all, it's finding your way as you go. And even if I wrote a book and the person you see today is a healed version of Gigi and an empowered version of Gigi, I keep and will continue to find myself. And that's what I empower people to do. You're going to always, because every stage in your life is every different stage of your life. You learn something, you make mistakes. Mistakes for me are my treasures because I learned from them. They're the key to my evolving, to my growth, to my understanding. And that's what I do. I live life according to finding my way back over and over again to what version I am today, right? And what version or what I could give to people and leave, because everything I learn, I don't want to take that with me. I want to leave it here. I want to help others and allow people, because I know the struggle. I know what it is to heal. I know what it is to cry. I know what it is to feel abandoned. I know what it is to be sexually abused, and I know physically abused. I know all that. So the problem is that a lot of people know that, right? There's a lot of people in there still enclosed in themselves. Well, I want to give them the tools. I want to inspire them and say, hey, if I did it when a lot of odds were against me, a lot of things could have happened, but no, there was a purpose, and this is my purpose, to learn all them tools and to give them to people and allow people to do them. That's why the growth plan, we were talking about that a couple of seconds ago. It's called your growth plan workbook. It's coming out with Lady Leadership, Nikki. Um, we're launching this in May, and I'm so excited because this is the coaching strategies that I use on people, but I made it in a workbook, and it's also dedicated to Rachel. She passed away. She's my best friend, for mental health awareness as well, because sometimes because we see other people happy, we feel that we're not entitled to talk or to allow ourselves to be that, and that's what happened. She was in a very dark place, and because I was in a very happy place, she didn't want to bring that. And that's why this workbook is important, because no one should ever feel that they can't speak, whether the person is a great
Yeah.
place or you have a voice, you use it, and that's why this workbook is being launched, because I want everyone to feel that they're never alone, that they pick up that workbook and they could work with themselves, and it's just asking the right questions, and I hope that it's going to go far and it makes a difference. I know it works because I use it. That's my coaching strategy. So, but yeah, it's finding my way back. And I always say that, find your way back to yourself.
Yeah. And if you don't know who yourself is, give yourself grace.
Yes.
Give yourself grace. And if you don't like who you are, I just really feel like somebody needs to hear this. If you don't like who you are, so you say, why would I want to find my way back to me? I guarantee you are not seeing the true you.
No.
You are not seeing the incredible person God created you as, because that is somebody beautiful, and that is somebody you want to be and you want to stand in. And all the different garments that life's tragedy and life's events have dressed you in so that you can no longer see your true self. Somebody like Judith, like her workbook, like even her book of Finding My Way Back to Gigi, can help you see how to slowly and safely
Mhm,
take off those layers of clothing.
mhm,
You can't suddenly strip off years of
mm-mm,
hurt and trauma and years of the protective barriers you've put on, or the clothes that life has put on you, because you are not ready to be exposed in that way. It's a journey.
mhm.
But if that's where you want to get to, there are so many people out there who can help you. And I always say, look in your heart when you feel drawn to somebody and begin to pray. Ask God if that is the right person, because I'm all for divine connections.
Mhm.
We found it happened here. You have communities that you relate to people in. The leader of that community may not be your answer, but somebody else in that community may be. And
Absolutely.
it is so important that you go to the right person to walk on your journey, finding your way back to yourself. You
Mhm,
don't want to go on somebody who wants to take you on their journey.
mhm.
You want to be with somebody who wants you to excel and to really bloom and blossom on your own journey and become who you were designed to be.
Absolutely. And I also want to let people know that it's going to be, there's no right or wrong way to find yourself. It's not a sequence that you have to, you have to heal your past. Yeah. No. Taking this step on just saying loving yourself, that is a step of change. It's breaking free to just the thought of saying, "I don't wanna be this person anymore," is a change, and you have to have grace with yourself. Every aspect of that counts. I know, and I could talk firsthand because I know that there was a part of my life where I didn't wanna be here. I had a trigger warning, I had suicidal thoughts. So, I know what's not wanting, that seeing me so badly, and I was so damaged and so hurt and felt so unworthy that I didn't wanna exist anymore. So, the fact that I'm here today telling you otherwise means that you could do it. You could do it. And the words of, and I always say and will always be grateful, and I get emotional by this, because the words of my mother just asking me, who are you? But she didn't say like, who are you? Expecting the answer. She said, who are you? Because she never saw me so down that she's like, where's my daughter? Who are you? And there was the words that triggered me to just kept saying that in my head. Who are you? Then who are you? And I said it, about 15, 20 minutes, just kept repeating that on the bed. 3 days without showering. I was in depression, full. And I kept just saying, then who are you? Just kept saying it. Who are you? Who are you? Who are you? Who are you? And just kept saying it. And then I felt anger. The fact that I felt something at that point made it count. And I'm like, oh, I feel something. Feel angry. And I didn't suppress it anymore. I was tired. I didn't want to suppress it. I didn't want to pretend that that emotion didn't exist, right? Because I was strong. I needed to be strong, because I needed to be tough, because I needed to, protect myself. I was done with that. And I said, and I allowed myself to be angry. And I said, you know what? It's okay to be angry. I'd rather be angry than not exist. At that moment, I knew that I didn't want that. I wanted to exist, even if it was the angry version of myself. I wanted to exist. Then that anger turned into sobbing, crying, grieving. I grieved myself. I grieved that version of Gigi, that broken, that hard. I didn't know how to begin. I didn't know where I was going to begin. I knew that. But I know that I didn't want to carry none of it anymore. No guilt, no pain, no rejection, none of them thoughts, nothing. I wanted to release myself from all that. And what I did, I started crying and allow myself to cry. Some people think that crying is a form of weakness, yet is one of the biggest strengths you could do for yourself, because that's telling you that you're healing, you're releasing, and as I filled my cup with tears, right? God did what he needed to do. I just surrendered and said, okay, what are we going to do from here? And it's finding my way back, finding what I like, because everything that I thought that I like wasn't that. No, it was a whole brand new of me. It was a whole brand. So there's no right or wrong way. It's however and whatever pace you need to remember that you're never alone. You're not alone. You are worthy to be here like everyone else. And it doesn't matter who or what anybody have done to you. That doesn't define who you are. Take your power back. That's a power that is. Don't let other people's way or traumas that they put on you, like they put on me. I didn't let them define me. I didn't
Yeah.
want them to define me anymore.
And I love how you say that, take your power back. And you lose power when you look around and start comparing yourself to everybody else, because you immediately make yourself so much smaller than you are. You are unique. You are beautiful. You have an incredible purpose, but don't try and step into a purpose until you know who you are.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're going to start building on a very shaky foundation. But you have a purpose. Every single one of you has a purpose in life. And that part of that purpose, and the first step in that purpose, is to recognize who you are, not who anybody else says you are. And, I'm giggling to myself here, because when we started this call, Judith said, okay, so, and I said, yeah, we're interviewing. She said, what? And if you saw Judith, the way she presents, excuse me, when she is on stage, if you saw her when she usually does an interview, dressed all smart and fancy, you would not relate to her in the story she's just told us in the way you can now, seeing her just as she is. Because we do all have both sides to us. The vulnerable side that we often don't show off, and that side that we show off, the more professional side. We have them both. And we are both. Whether you're somebody who doesn't believe you'll ever be that or not. Doesn't matter what you are thinking. God's truth is what's true. And when you start aligning with God's truth and you start seeing what God says about you, you start seeing the potential for that. But don't compare. Don't think this is somebody who I can't hear from because they're way above me. Nobody is above you. Nobody is above you. And don't give anybody else that authority or power in your life. But more importantly, people like Judith, like myself in a different area, can relate because we have been there. My story is completely different. My story is about me being stuck in a wheelchair and thinking I was totally useless, and having come to realize that nobody else got to define me. And I didn't get to define me myself by the standards that other people set. But do you see how the two stories come together? Because they're both about our value. They're both about who we are and who God intends for us to be and how we're going to walk onto that road. So Judith is now probably going to have to rewrite her speech for the summit because she's probably told us half of it. But I know this woman has a wealth of wisdom and so many stories and presents so powerfully the messages God gives her in the moment. So if you don't know about the summit, you can connect with me, drop a message in the chat, or connect with Judith. And in fact, connect with Judith anyway. She's awesome. Go and follow her. Go and follow her. Yeah. And if you think, oh, well, I don't need to set boundaries and I don't have any trauma in my life, your trauma may not be physical abuse. I don't care if your trauma is the fact that there is no toilet tissue in the bathroom. If that upsets you and causes a problem for you, that is your trauma. There is no degree of trauma. If it's disrupting your life and you need to work with it, that's okay. Just because it's not the same as somebody else's doesn't belittle it. And it certainly doesn't belittle it in the eyes of God. Please keep that in mind. So the summit is open to anybody. However, it's mainly geared towards the ladies. I just want to tell you that in advance. And it is so exciting to be hearing from these different speakers. And I know that Gigi is just touched the tip of the iceberg of the wisdom and knowledge that she's got to share. The book, Making Your Way Back to Gigi, is already out, but the new workbook isn't. And if you want to be on a pre-list for when it is launched and released, connect with her and say, hey, put me on the list. It's not launched yet. I know it's going to be phenomenal. And I'm so excited, not just about the summit, but about the divine connection that we have got here. But you know where it came from? Community. We are in the same community. And you're going to be hearing one of these days from our amazing leader, Nikki Cuesta. And you know, another woman, I met her and I just felt so aligned. God brings people across your path that he intends you to work with, to be with. And she's amazing. And we're going to be hearing from her one of these days because she's also one of the speakers at our event. But the point is here is it's about community. It's about connection. And if you are wanting to connect in a community, I have a free community called Empowered by Joy. We do a whole lot in there. So you get to have tools, you get to be equipped, and you get to connect with like-minded women.
Mm-hmm.
So go look for it. Empowered by Joy. It is a private group, but purely so we can keep it as a safe space and not open to the whole world. Come and join us in there. We'd love to have you. It is a faith-centered and Christ-centered group and community. But we would love to have you in there. But I'd love to have you at the summit even more.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want cost to be a barrier. So I have created an alternate ticket for this. The $97 ticket includes the bonuses, the Hearing from God workshop and the masterclass in August when I get back from Africa after my TEDx talk. However, not everybody wants that, and not everybody can do that. And I don't want cost to be the barrier. So if you are interested in the no bonus $20 ticket, please let me know. Because this is expected to transform your life, because that's what God has said it's going to do. We have a prayer team already praying for it, but they will be on standby the day of the summit for if you need prayer. Invite your friends. Let me know if you have any other questions. But I want to hand this back to Judith and say, any last words?
Any last words? This event, and I know that once you asked me to be a speaker, I was like, oh my God, what a privilege. Thank you. But as I am preparing and going and the days are happening, I know that this event is going to be epic and will change lives. So anybody who follows me or seeing this, get your ticket. Not because I'm going to be there, but because there's a message there for you. A message you've been waiting for. That prayer answered. You wanted a sign. You wanted a divine sign. You want God to speak to you. Here it is. Here's your chance. Get inspired. You need prayer. You need anything. This is your chance. Reach out. That's all you have to do. Reach out. Reach out. And let God do what he does best. Because only he could do it. He did it with me. Nobody else could do that. We're just tools. We're just tools that he used. So you need it. Here it goes. Thank you, Nikki, for allowing me to be here, for allowing to share part of my story, for being part of this community, for being part of this speech. And it's going to be epic. We're going to change lives. I know that.
Thank you so much. And thank you. Thank you for your time. And I cannot wait. I am so excited. So don't forget, if you're not sure how to sign up or anything like that, I will drop it in the comments of this video. But connect. Nobody's going to reject your questions.
Mm-hmm.
And in case you don't know, I have an awesome admin. Her name is Kim Marie Murray. And if you can't get hold of me, get hold of her. She's going to love me saying that on live. Blessings all. Have an amazing day. And go and just spend some time with the authentic you and love her. Love her. Connect with Judith. Drop me a hi. Don't forget to comment in the chat. Blessings. Bye.